Welcome to me and my lovely home, and today's vlog, which is going to be on managing your mental health at Christmas time. Can be a hard time for lots of different people, but I think it's especially hard for people with mental health problems. Now, some people actually find it a good time of year because it's full of a lot of happy things and people just feel more optimistic and they find like it actually just helps their mental health. But for me, like a lot of people, I find that the fact that everyone's sort of happy and all this music and all the Christmas decorations really kind of, I don't know, it makes me realise how actually unhappy I feel with my mental illness, if that makes sense, because it looks like everyone else is like super happy and has no problems and stuff, which is not true, but you know, it looks like that, especially with social media and things. And I find that sometimes it actually can be worse, and I feel a pressure to act like I'm really happy and really looking forward to it, and I don't feel that way at all. This time of year is really stressful for everyone, whether you have a mental health problem or not. You know, I think there's a big pressure to sort of socialise with family and friends, and also there's money. You know, some people might have lost their job recently, or, you know, just be struggling, and you feel the pressure to buy more gifts and buy more things, and people end up paying off Christmas for like the next year until the next Christmas. It's just ridiculous. What can you do to help manage your mental health around this time of year? Well, first off, don't drink too much alcohol. I know it's tempting, especially when you're spending time probably with maybe friends or family that you don't have a good relationship with, but it's a big group and you know you've kind of got to put up with them, and then when they start drinking they start saying more things and you're just like, there's just no filter, and you really struggle. But it's going to make you feel worse because it is a depressive, and you may end up saying things that you really wish you hadn't said once you're sober again, and it can make you feel more stressed. And it's just best to, you know, limit your alcohol take. You can still participate and, you know, have a bit of a drink, but just watch how much you're drinking because you'll probably find that you regret it. Another thing to help maintain a sort of more stable mood is watching your food intake as well, because again, it's really tempting to eat all the food, but you don't need all that. Obviously your diet probably isn't going to be as healthy at Christmas, and you want to still enjoy yourself or try and enjoy yourself as best as you can. So I'm not saying obviously don't eat any junk and just eat the, you know, fruit and stuff where everyone else is like eating all the tasty food or anything like that, but just don't overindulge on food, because again, it won't make you feel great and it can really affect your mood just like alcohol can. Try to get to bed at your usual time or near enough your usual time. If you're like me and you work over the Christmas period, this is really important because I've got to go to work the next day, or everyone else might still be able to get drunk and have sleep off the hangover the next day, but I've actually got to get up and function and go to work and deal with people all day. So for me, trying to get to bed at a reasonable time is good. And again, it is lots of evidence to say that getting a good night's sleep or not getting a good night's sleep can really affect your mental health. And I know that is true because when I have really bad night's sleep, it just puts down your defences. You have less energy and less sort of, I guess energy to sort of battle your mental health, which is how I see what I do every day, is I battle my own brain, and it gives you less energy for that, and you feel like you've got less defense against the things that go on in your head and stuff like that. So yeah, I think a good night's sleep is important. Don't forget that if you need time out, it is okay to have time out and spend it alone. I think cutting down at commitments at Christmas is good. You can say no to things, and the last couple of years me and John have cut down quite a bit because we used to be here, there and everywhere. We were the ones always travelling to places and things like that, which is fine because both our parents live in the same village and his brother lives there and his aunts and his cousins and his grandma and stuff like that. So it makes sense for us to go there, then they all come over here, and that's fine. But it's one of my days off in around Christmas, as I work over Christmas, as I mentioned before. So we've scaled down a bit and not going to as many houses. I just think, why at Christmas do you spend so much time and effort going to all these people that neither of you make any time to see each other the rest of the year? It's okay if you say no to some of those people, let's face it. If you need that time to be by yourself, away from all the madness and noise that is Christmas, then do it. try and have realistic expectations about family gatherings, because obviously a lot of the family that you will see, you only actually see this time of year, or maybe at a wedding or a christening or a funeral or whatever. And you know that, say, your aunt is always going on about the fact that you're, I don't know, not married yet, or you haven't had kids yet, or whatever it is. Try and avoid them, or just take some deep breaths. You know they're going to be like that. It doesn't matter. You just got to put up with them for this time at Christmas. The rest of the year, you don't have to see her again. You don't have to talk to her. So just take some deep breaths and maybe take that time alone in a different room for a bit to cool down. And yes, try and spend time with those people that don't make you feel like you're inadequate or you're doing something wrong or whatever. You know, you're living your life the way you want to live it. It's not up to whoever it is, your aunt, your grandma or whatever, to tell you how to do it. And they shouldn't let you feel bad about something, limits that they've put on your life, and they don't know you well enough to know that that's just not you. Just having a bit of a pause in the video. Don't know if you can hear that in the background, but that is John cleaning paintbrushes because he's working from home today, and on his lunch break he's painting another coat on the wall in the bathroom. So I'm just going to wait. It's alright, take your time.
Good, I will.
2 hours later, I'm still waiting.
We're just impatient.
That's true, I am impatient. This is hold music, by the way, just so you know. I don't know what tune this is.
I don't mind doing work and then on my lunch doing housework before I go back to work while you whistle to your friends down the little microphone. It's fine.
You chose to paint the bathroom.
Because when else do I get time to?
Moan, that's all he does.
I don't have to do this.
And we're still going. Molly's impressed with my hold music anyway. John's gone, but now Molly has started. Shush! Shush! You're interfering with my vlog. Are you coming over here now? I don't need protecting from the dog in someone else's house. Anyway, the next way is to try and avoid unhelpful social comparisons, which I realise is much harder these days with social media. The thing is about social media, dog sitting on my knee, is that it shrinks the big world down to a tiny little space, and you're comparing yourself to people who have had different, I guess, options in life than you may have had. So for instance, I'll use like people I know as an example. So one of John's friends had his house bought for him by his parents. So, you know, that's nothing amazing. He had his parents buy it. It's not something that he's achieved himself. For us, for instance, in the middle, we paid for half our deposit and John's parents paid for the other half of the deposit. So obviously that was really helpful. And then my sister didn't get any help with the deposit and had to save up with her fiance by herself. And obviously a lot of people are like that. Some people don't have the kind of jobs that they can save it. The only reason my sister managed to do that was because she was living at home at the time. The only reason me and John managed to save as much deposit is because we're living at home at the time. But not everyone can live at home while they're doing that. They don't have a good relationship with their family, or, you know, there's so many different reasons. And you shouldn't compare yourself to somebody else because you're given different opportunities in life. And I know it's hard, but also just being in different countries. For instance, obviously here in the UK, we get our healthcare paid for us. If you're in America, you've probably got a huge amount of money that goes to your healthcare, which means you've got less money to do other things with. So don't compare yourself with somebody here in the UK who might actually have more disposable income just for the fact that they don't have to actually pay for their own healthcare. But when it comes to social media, people don't tell you these things. They don't tell you that they've had help, that they've actually really lucky and had one of the best educations going. Not because they're clever, but because their parents could afford for them to do that, where someone else didn't. They were told that they needed to leave school after their GCSEs and to go out and work. So they never had the opportunity to go to university and things like that. Or they didn't feel like it was going to be for them because there was nothing that they didn't know what they wanted to do. That was like me. I did my A-levels, but didn't go to university because I just didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't see the point of really like wasting money and time by studying something that I was never going to use, I didn't want to do. But I know loads of people who've gone to university, done a course and then never used it afterwards. I just think, what a waste of time is that? But anyway. And also, how many presents you buy your kids is not an indication of how much you love them. Just because you buy them half the toy shop does not mean you love them more than someone who's only got their kid one present. Because in the end, all those toys that you have bought your kid are probably going to end up in the bin, let's face it, because they can't play with them all the time, especially if they're at school and stuff. When are they actually going to play with all these toys? They're just not. But there's some kids who don't get anything at all for Christmas, and I just find it really sad. This is one of the reasons why I struggle with Christmas, is because I think it really jars the difference between those who have money and those who can't. I think you really notice it more at Christmas. But as I said, you just avoid social media if it doesn't make you feel good. You don't have to be on it, you can go back after Christmas when everything's a bit more normal and sedate and everything. You don't have to do it. And I, for one, try and avoid it a bit more around Christmas because, as I said, I just find it makes me angry seeing it all, basically. But if you do find Christmas still really, really hard and painful, obviously, you might be having Christmas without loved ones, and that's, making it really sad. Or you might be really estranged from your family, so maybe you're spending it alone. There's lots of different things, but just remember, and I'll put these numbers down at the bottom, and the websites is that Samaritans are available 24/7 if you need to talk. It doesn't matter that it's Christmas Day, people will be there to listen to you. Also, there's other support groups and things that are available. If you go on the internet or maybe get a newspaper, go to the library and things like that, you can find out groups and things that you can go, so you're not alone at Christmas, and spend time with people, or just have somebody to talk to for a bit. Obviously, maybe you like to go, a lot of people like to go to the pub, don't they, on Christmas Day, and you can get some food there and things. You don't have to get drunk or whatever, but you've got that social interaction and you don't feel on your own. There's lots of things for you, and I'll put some numbers and things down at the bottom because I don't want anyone to feel worse than they need to around Christmas time. Like, we can get through it, folks, we can get through it. So that is everything that I wanted to talk to you about that today. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, as usual, could you please like and subscribe to my channel, and of course share, because I want to help break the stigma of mental health, and also just help with a bit of advice and get some facts out there, because there's a lot of, to quote Donald Trump, fake news around mental health, and we get a lot of bad press. So it doesn't help with the stigma, and obviously I want to help end that. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Since you're here, you can say bye, look. Bye. Yeah, since you're gate crashing. Bye. Oh, are we playing?